Nvidia stock investors got some bullish news from Elon Musk, XAI, and more importantly, Cadence, which just reported earnings. The great thing with XAI, they kind of give this bullish thesis of why in the AI market, we're still seeing heavy investments in data center infrastructure and why this is going to continue for at least the foreseeable future. Now, like always, today's episodes are not episodes that are meant to explain why the stock price might go up tomorrow, right? We're here kind of looking at the long-term thesis for Nvidia. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Like always, make sure to check out fool.com/Jose for special offer and check out my free daily semiconductor newsletter, whatthechip.happened.com. So let's get started.
I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video and check out fool.com/Jose for the 10 best stocks to buy now. With that link, you get a promotional offer for the subscription service. Now, let's continue with today's episode.
So we can see quick price action. Nvidia was pretty much flat for the day. It was up roughly 0.4%, and after hours, the stock is down roughly 0.2%. Now, the first thing I wanted to take a closer look at was XAI, right? So XAI last night released their Grok 3, and it was a launch that they did on the X platform. And for those that are not familiar, Grok 3 is XAI's large language model, and XAI is the AI company that Elon Musk has started. And like I mentioned in the intro of this video, one of the biggest bullish cases for NVIDIA investors here is that it showcases that the AI market, if you have the most amount of computational power, you're able to translate and be able to grow at faster levels. And this is kind of a chart of how kind of like OpenAI kind of built GPT-2, GPT-3, and obviously GPT-4. Obviously, it's a lot harder to do something from the start, being one of the initial drivers, but we can see that Grok or XAI was able to release Grok 0, Grok 1, and Grok 2 a lot faster. And they just recently announced Grok 3, while OpenAI recently announced their O1 and O3 mini. But overall, it just showcases that if you have more training available to you, more training computational power, the faster you can grow in this AI market. The second thing that XAI recently announced was that obviously we know about XAI's supercomputer Colossus, and many thought it was a 100,000 GPU cluster. But the company has never discussed, they explained it live on the stream, that they actually added 100,000 more GPUs to this, and now this is a super cluster of 200,000 NVIDIA GPUs. I don't think they really broke it down. I think it's a mixture of H100 and H200s. And here we can kind of see some of the benchmarks of Grok 3, Grok 3 Mini, compared to maybe some of the top players. We can see that O1 and O3 from OpenAI are omitted here. And most likely because those are probably better in these benchmarks, but at least it showcases that if you have a lot of computational power and you can kind of create a crazy model in no time. And this could be seen as, hey, look, if you are an AI company and you want to continue to innovate, it's definitely a nice growth if you increase your computational power dramatically. So it's great for your, if you're Microsoft, it shows you, hey, look, maybe we need to invest in more computational power. If you're a Google, if you're an Amazon, if you're a lot of these AI startups, you need a lot of computational power if you want to kind of evolve at rapid levels. Now, there is this website online, nextbigfuture.com, who kind of explains a little bit of some of the progress that XAI is trying to do with kind of their crazy models. And right now, Grok 3, for example, actually used 200,000 GPUs as we saw. But Grok 4, Grok 5 is expected to use a lot more. At the end of the era, it seems like you're expecting at the end of around or mid 2026, XAI is projected to have 1 million B200s. By the end of 2026, is expected to have 1 million Rubin 100. So overall, we can see that the market is really excited about building massive GPU clusters to kind of train their overall AI models. So I think XAI is probably one of the biggest players here in creating some massive clusters. And I think it might light a fire for your Metas, for your Googles, for your OpenAIs to invest more in AI infrastructure. And that is why we're seeing kind of things like Stargate. So the first thing as an NVIDIA investor is XAI showcases that If you have a lot of computational power, you're going to be able to accelerate in the AI market pretty quickly. Now, the kind of staying here with AI investments, we recently saw that OpenAI's co-founder, who left the company, Elijah, recently started a new company, AI Super Safety. I forget what it's called, Safe Super Intelligence, and they are raising funding. They're raising about $1 billion for his new AI startup, and it's at a valuation of $30 billion. Now, $1 billion they're raising, I'm pretty sure they're going to be using it to rent out. I don't think this company is going to build their own data center. What most likely is they're going to rent out kind of GPU clusters from major cloud service providers, being your Microsoft, being your probably your Google or your Amazon or whoever. But that $1 billion is going to go back to a cloud provider, in my opinion, and that cloud provider is going to have more money to invest in more AI infrastructure. So again, the sentiment that DeepSeek is going to end AI capex was even more evidence that it was a deep lie. Outside of that, we also had some reports that a GPU cloud provider, FluidStack, signs a memorandum of understanding with the French government to build an AI supercomputer in the country. And this is something that NVIDIA CEO has talked a lot about, sovereign AI, each nation kind of building their own AI. And we see here in the United States with Stargate, I believe we kind of saw a similar Stargate program in Japan. I remember somewhere, I know we've recently heard, and we've actually heard the other one in Europe as well. And this is kind of it. So this kind of understanding contract, the facility is set to house the system will offer 1 gigawatts of dedicated AI compute and will be powered by France's abundant carbon-free, not, well, anyways, 1 gigawatts of dedicated AI compute. And the first phase is going to have roughly 500,000 of next generation AI chips. And the supercomputer is currently set to go live in 2026, with phase one of the project funded by about $10 billion. So this is probably 500,000 H200s or Blackwell 200 GPU systems. So again, a lot more money going into Nvidia. And this is not going to be the only country doing something like this. We're going to see more investments like that by other nations globally. The next thing I want to say is there are reports that Amazon has filed for permits for its data center project in Virginia. A letter attached to the application states that the company is seeking to develop a minimum of 770 megawatts of data center capacity by 2027. Now, this could, again, add more evidence to NVIDIA, because if these data centers are not open yet, Meta Platforms is not making the purchase orders or paying NVIDIA just yet, right? These are going to be chips that come out in 2026, maybe even in 2027. So NVIDIA, we can see that this is kind of a visibility of the type of orders we can see in the future. So even more bullish evidence. And again, none of this is supposed to move the stock price tomorrow. It's more of understanding how the AI market is evolving and why we can maybe rest easy when a lot of fear, doubt, and uncertainty, I'm pretty sure I got those mixed up, come out and try to target NVIDIA, especially now that we're getting closer to earnings. And if you're enjoying the episode so far, definitely make sure to hit the thumbs up, the subscribe button, as this is by far going to be the best place you're going to get any semiconductor AI news. Now, the final topic I'm going to take a closer look at is Cadence just reported earnings. CDMS, I believe, is their ticker. Unfortunately, the stock is down roughly 4%. Now, I could care less about the reports right now because I'm not invested in the stock, but they do share some insight about the AI market. Now, for those that are not familiar with Cadence, they kind of designed a software solution where if you are designing a chip, you're most likely using Cadence design systems. Now, Cadence mentions that they are very well positioned to benefit from the various phases of AI, including the current AI infrastructure build out, applying AI to their own products and expanding into new markets such as life science. So the first thing we see that is that they believe there's multiple phases to the AI market. And right now, phase one is the data center build out. Now, one of the biggest phases that they believe will happen in the AI market is what's called physical AI, which will be more physical world, more edge devices, more cars, more robots and drones, and then also sciences AI with things like life sciences and material sciences. And one thing that they mention is right now there is weakness in the automotive market in terms of actual revenue. But in terms of investments in research and development, there's a lot of investments and research and development with EVs and self-driving. Same thing with drones and robots, which is independent of humanoid robots. Industrial applications and aero and defense applications will be huge for those things in the physical AI. So physical AI is definitely coming through, and Cadence is able to kind of see all this research and development money going into this chip development, very similar to how they saw the data center market, where the data center side in AI grew in 2022 and 2023, but the design activity was there few years before that. So physical AI, while it's still early, it does kind of give a nice bullish sentiment of where the next generation of AI is going to be heading. And again, I think that's overall very bullish for NVIDIA, as they provide a lot of the research and development tools like simulations, like training, like inferencing, and most likely are going to provide a lot of the actual tools as well once we kind of see those revenues pick up, as they provide the chips for the cars, for the robots as well. So that could be another growth driver for NVIDIA in the next few years. So overall, I think there was a lot of great news in the AI market. Obviously, not going to move the stock price tomorrow, but it's great to understand the AI space. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Make sure to hit the thumbs up, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and see you all next time.